Yes, what's the next thing about? अगली चीज क्या लिखी थी? No, anxiety. Anxiety. See, the law of duality states that there is no anxiety in attention. There is no anxiety when you are attentive. Write down, anxiety is a thought. Anxiety is a thought. Anxiety is a thought. If you want, all of you can be anxious right now. You can call thoughts of anxiety and you will find that you really become anxious. You can call thoughts of stress and within a few minutes you will see that you have actually become stressed. Just call those thoughts of stress. Call those memories that make you disturbed and you will see within 3-4 minutes you will be anxious, stressed, disturbed. That can be done right now. Anxiety is a thought, right? Getting it? The presence of the thought implies a lack of understanding. In understanding, thoughts do not dominate. Write down. In understanding, thoughts cannot dominate. In understanding, thoughts cannot dominate. What happens is, we said man is a sandwich, right? So there is a very dual nature that is available to us. We can live in reality while imagining an alternate reality. We can live in reality while imagining an alternate reality. How? You can be here in a physical way, whereas your mind can be somewhere else. Are you getting it? Now the reality and the imagined reality can never agree with each other. And that itself is the source of all conflict and confusion. You are here, your mind is somewhere else, and that is what leads to anxiety. All anxiety is imagination. All anxiety is imagination. In an understanding of the present, in an understanding of the present, in an understanding of the present, energetic action starts, and anxiety disappears. That is the reason why someone has said, a wise man has said, that action is the antidote to despair. Write down. Action is the antidote to despair. Action is the antidote to despair. Now what do we do? If I really understand what's going on, and what's going on is going on right now. If I really understand what's going on, then from that understanding, action will result. Clear, energetic action. And when I am in the middle of that action, there can be no disappointment, no anxiety, there is only the action. But the brain loves to be lost in anxiety. All anxiety is about the future. Brain loves that. Action kaun kare? Anxious now? I am very anxious. The fact of the matter is, when you really understand what needs to be done, anxiety disappears and action starts. Suppose a fire breaks out in this room. There are two kinds of fellows. One who understands what the fire is all about, who understands the danger of fire. Will he need to think, should I blast this roof and get out? Should I try to have a welding torch, cut open these rods and then go out, or will he just run away from that open door? Will he think? Does he require thought? Does he require thought? He understands what the whole thing is about and he will act. And he will act. He will just act. And in that moment of acting, remember, in that moment of acting, if he is really acting, there is no anxiety. Anxiety lies in not acting. And not acting happens when I do not understand. When I really understand, then there is no interval, then there is no time interval between understanding and action. Understanding and action become simultaneous. When I really understand, then understanding and action become simultaneous. I do not pause to decide, to think. Understanding leads to instantaneous action. There is no room for anxiety. नहीं समझ में आ रही बात. See, we have not lived this way ever, so it will be a little difficult to understand. But look at this. You have been holding a rope, but then thinking that it's a sacred garland, because that's what your parents, education, society, all of us have told us. It's a sacred garland. Something happens, and you have told boss that is conditioning, that is social conditioning. Can you be attentive? Can you be intelligent? Can you look at it, observe it closely, and you look at it, observe it, and you discover it's a main program. Now, is there space for you to be anxious, or will action happen spontaneously? Or will you be anxious? क्या भी तो मैं चिंता कर रहा हूँ उसका क्या करना है? And the cobra is hissing. अभी मैं anxious हूँ, अभी तो cobra. If I really understand it's a cobra, will I be anxious? Or will action happen? In real understanding, there is no time interval between understanding and action. Now, where can anxiety come? When can anxiety come? Anxiety comes out of lack of understanding. Anxiety comes out of lack of understanding. I can be disappointed, frustrated only when I do not understand. I can be disappointed, frustrated only when I do not understand. I believe it. And understanding is intelligence. And intelligence is you, your essence, the subject. Is anxiety clear? Is anxiety clear? Anxiety comes out of non-action. And action is not forced action, that you are forcing yourself to act. Do you force yourself to act? Then I am generating some willpower to throw away the cobra. Do you require motivation to throw away the cobra? That action is spontaneous action born out of understanding. Are you getting it? It is spontaneous, instantaneous action born out of understanding. Are you getting it? It does not require willpower, it does not require motivation. It requires a clear mind. Together till here? Are we clear on anxiety? So when you are anxious, what will we do? We will look clearly at the anxiety and understand what's happening. We will not be lost in the anxiety. And the moment you look at anxiety, what is happening? What is this process of anxiety? Just as you look at a mathematical equation, just as you look at an experiment in the laboratory, closely, without prejudice, without desire. When you look at an experimental setup in a physics lab, do you desire or do you just watch what is happening? You just watch, right? That's what a scientist does. That's what a truthful man does. When he is watching, he is just watching. He does not desire कि ऐसा होना चाहिए. So you watch. What is this anxiety thing? कहाँ से आती है? क्या हो रहा है? And in watching there is understanding. In understanding there is action. There is no room for anxiety. Getting it? Are you getting it? Anxiety will not lead to action. Anxiety is a handicap. If we think that being anxious, see, we all have been taught seriousness. Seriousness is anxiety, fear, right? We have been taught that being anxious, being serious leads to good results, which is rubbish. Excellence comes from enjoyment, not seriousness. Excellence comes from enjoyment. How can you excel in something if you do not enjoy it? Right now, excellence comes from enjoyment, not anxiety. Excellence comes from enjoyment, not anxiety. To excel in something, I must enjoy it, not be anxious about it. To excel in something, I must enjoy it, not be anxious. Now, enjoyment is in the present, and anxiety is in the if enjoyment is in the present and anxiety is in the future. We don't understand this, that enjoyment is in the present. Okay, try enjoying in the future. Enjoy in the future. Enjoyment is in the present, anxiety is in the future, and excellence comes from enjoyment. You cannot excel in something that you do not enjoy. No point being anxious. Get into it, be immersed, understand and enjoy. Are we together? नहीं आ रही बात समझ? आ रही है? Are we together? बात समझ में आ रही है? Is anxiety clear?